Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Your Age is Not Your Cage with Carla Allen. I am so glad that you are here, and I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. So, thank you for tuning in. Today, I have on my heart a topic that I've thought about talking about before, and it just seems to have come up more and more lately. So, today I'm going to be talking about cheering women on, about being cheerleaders for women versus viewing them as a threat or as competition. And so I want to do a deep dive into this, and it's not necessarily fun to hear things like this when things are revealed in your own self, your own heart, but I felt it was so important to get this out there. So that is what we are going to be talking about today. So let's dig right in, and let me ask you, have you found yourself in this place? Have you found yourself where you think, and let me ask you this first, do you think you're more of a cheerleader, or do you tend to think of women as a threat, as competitors, especially if they're in the same line of work that you are, if they are doing the same things as you? So, for example, for me as a podcaster or as a health coach, uh, how do you normally think you view women? Do you think you're cheering them on, or do you kind of go, ugh, that feels a little yucky, and I feel like I've got to beat her out in this, or I've got to do what she's doing? What kind of feelings come up for you when I ask that question? And I think this is where the saying "with age comes wisdom" is really appropriate in this for me, because this is not directed at you. I am going to share vulnerably and authentically some of the things that I've gone through, and I hope that you will also look deep into your heart, ask God to remove anything from you, anything that's holding you back, that may be keeping you in this place of viewing women as a threat. And so when I say "with age comes wisdom," it's so appropriate for me, because I do feel over the years that God has definitely done such a good work in me on this one. And it's not always easy to admit our shortcomings, is it? I mean, it's not something that's fun to do, but I am here to just throw it all out on the table and share with you, and kind of share what I was doing before I feel like God really did a big work in me in this area. And so I feel like years ago, and not that I'm saying it's totally gone, because sometimes it rears its ugly head. We're human. It's flesh. It's what we do. So don't beat yourself up if you do. The beautiful part about it now, if I get that feeling, I recognize it, I rebuke it and throw it out, and I move on. And so I just used to have a very competitive, kind of jealous like nature. And that's yucky to admit, but it's true. And but little did I know that it all had to do with my own insecurities. It was nothing against these other women that caused me to be that way. It was me. It was my own insecurities. And it's what I look at today when someone maybe has an issue with me, or I feel like they're feeling threatened by me. I have grace for that and mercy, because God had that for me too. And I recognize they have some things that are bringing up some insecurities in them, and that it is not something that I have to feel attacked by. And so realizing that my own insecurities were getting in the way was like huge to finally recognize. But I was so insecure, like in my own skin, how I looked. And people would tell me, "Gosh, you never seemed that way. You always seemed so confident, when you were in your teens, 20s, 30s." And just insecure in my own like talents and gifts, and just in my own ability. So when someone else did something better than me, or they were prettier than me, or more talented than me in a sport or activity, or if they had more schooling than me, more education than I did, it brought up these really gross feelings of feeling inadequate and like I wasn't enough, I wasn't worthy, and it was awful. I mean, it sounds awful, right? And it's not easy to to put that out there, but it was true. And it just made for a very unappealing person to be around, but yet I think I was anyway. I was good at hiding it until I wasn't, because it came out in ways that were not attractive. It came out in ways of me being passive aggressive in my comments, um, maybe cutting to the core in a way that might seem like I was kidding, but I wasn't. Like I was just digging that knife in through passive aggressiveness. And that is one thing that I have been awakened to. And I every now and then I'll slip up again, but boy, I don't allow that into my world anymore, against me or me doing it against someone else. It's just doesn't feel good. And so I really, really have a conscious effort of not doing that to people. Um, but when I look back on all that, it was just ugly and offensive and childish, really. Uh, but it was that insecure little girl within me that didn't know how to cheer others on, wasn't really taught how to cheer other women on. And I think that is something that you learn over the years on cheering women on. And when I've been around other women that do that, it is so beautiful to be around. And sadly, more than not, it's the other way around. And I love to surround myself with women that encourage and support and cheer each other on, because that's the way that it should be. We don't have to view everyone as competition that we have to conquer and defeat and make ourselves feel better. It's like we do it just to feed our own ego, our own confidence, our own insecurities, to make ourselves feel better. But we really don't. We don't feel better when we do it. And I just realized that there wasn't room in my life for a lot of this. And I didn't like what I saw when God awakened me to it, when he revealed and showed me in ways to certain friends and people that I was projecting that upon. And I actually, before I move on, I have reached out to a few people in my life that I've apologized for those behaviors. And so if there's people in your life like that, think about it. And it doesn't mean they're going to forgive you or you'll have a renewed friendship or whatever, but I had very gracious, beautiful, wonderful friends that were that way, and we are close dear friends now. And so take that step forward if that's something you've done and you really feel a conviction on your heart to go to that person. And if they don't accept it or forgive you, it's okay. You did what God prompted you and convicted you to do to make it right in your heart, in your life, in your mind. And so I highly encourage that. But so, I mean, what did I do then to kind of get past this or get solutions? Or, I mean, first and foremost for me is when I dug deeper and Jesus got a hold of me and transformed me, transformed my life, my heart, and my insecurities. That is 100% it. I could even stop this podcast here and say that was it, because it truly was. He got a hold of me and I wanted to be more like Jesus. I wanted to love people more like Jesus. I pray all the time, let me see people through the eyes of Jesus. Let me love them like you do. And that is a prayer I pray so often, especially if it's someone that I feel like maybe a little tension or conflict with. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't overnight, and I was definitely resistant to change. I am a little hard-headed, stubborn, and it didn't always feel great to do that. And it took me a long time in a lot of areas to make these changes. And it's just very difficult to look inward and have all that yuck just right there in front of you saying, yeah, this doesn't look so good, does it? And so I just wanted to share that my life with Jesus Christ and my faith is what has made me who I am today. I'm 100% confident in that is why I am the girl I am today. I am not who I was in my teens, 20s, even my 30s. There's been growth every decade of my life, and I can tell you that my 50s have been the most beautiful, growing, strengthening, pruning, secure, confident years of my life. And again, it comes back to that with age comes wisdom. So if you get discouraged in it, just know that through these years, through these seasons of life, you learn more and more and more. And it's such a beautiful process that God walks you through. And it's a changing from the inside out. And the beautiful part is I began to see myself through the eyes of Jesus. I saw myself as a child of God. I saw myself as his princess, his daughter, his beloved one. And once I started seeing that, it changed my world in so many ways. So that is, like I said, I could stop here. That is number one in my life. And it continues to point me in the right directions every day. And when something comes up, whether it's that or some other conviction, I'm much more likely to pray and dig deep and really look into that and not just ignore it and push it under the rug. And so that has been beautiful. And it helped me to begin to realize like how fun it is to cheer your friends on, to encourage them, to support them, and to love them well. And I absolutely love to connect women. I love to be with women. I love the sweet friendships that I have. And, it's been tough over the years, and I've been involved in some things and some groups that it didn't feel that way to me. And I am surrounded now by so many women that I feel loved. I feel encouraged. I feel like they are my biggest fans and cheerleaders, and it feels amazing. And I pray that for you, that you can surround yourself with some women like that. And it just happened for me in ways that I would seek out community. Some of my closest friends are from Instagram now. And I don't mean just online. We are friends now in person. And then my monthly group, The Table, where I've met so many incredible women through that. Through my walking group, it's just, there's so many ways that God has blessed me with beautiful women that their hearts are for me like my heart is for them. And so I encourage you to not settle for less than that, and that you would be that kind of friend to others too. And just remembering there's room enough. Enough room for all of us, even if we're in the same field of work. It's okay. I promote my friends that do the same thing I do as a health coach, as a podcaster, because I believe in them. I believe in what they're doing, and I want to cheer them on. I've had several of these ladies on my podcast, and we're all going to find our different audiences. We're going to find the people that are right for us, that click with us. And just because they do what I do doesn't mean that there's not enough room for all of us to share in that and to encourage each other and to promote each other's business. I love it. And just remember, like, one size doesn't fit all. There is someone out there for each one of us. We all have our own people out there, and there's plenty to go around. So, my point is, why not cheer each other on? Quit the petty comparisons and competitions, because it truly is. It's just so much more fun when you're doing that. Your heart feels lighter, and it is a feeling that knowing that you are loving others well, that compares to no other. And then just remind yourself, like, God made us all unique. We all have unique talents, gifts, personalities. We're all special in our own ways. And someone out there needs us. They need us to cheer them on. They need us to remind them how beautiful they are and who they are in the ways God created them. Someone that can help point out the gifts and the talents that you see in them that maybe they don't see. You could be that for someone. And that is what cheering women on is about. Like, be a cheerleader, an encourager, a connector. It truly is and has been one of the greatest gifts in my life in this last couple years of me doing that. It has brought me just so much joy in so many ways. So, okay, I'm not going to go on too much longer. Let me just tell you kind of like, what can you do? What kind of action can you implement today? What can you do if these are bringing up feelings of, oh, that's me, like how I view people as a threat, a competition. I feel insecure about myself. I don't feel confident in myself. What could you do? And let's go back to that. What could you do today? What is one thing that you can do today that can move the needle forward? And I would say that one thing you could do is call, not text unless you have to, but call a friend. Call someone that's on your heart. Ask God to put someone on your heart. Someone you've known for years, or maybe someone you just met. And tell her how much you admire her. Tell her how much you admire her character. Tell her how much you just love who she is. And something, tangible, something that can make her feel amazing because you notice this particular thing in her. Like maybe how she always has a sweet smile for everyone, or how she's always encouraging someone with even just saying, I love your shoes today. Or she's so good at starting conversations with others, or she's so good at welcoming others in. Whatever it is, make that, like, how about a 30-day habit of doing something every day? Even this, like calling someone for 30 days. If that's too long for you, make your own goal. But one thing a day, do that. And I assure you, you are going to feel such a difference in your, what's the word I'm looking for? Joy. It is going to bring you so much joy by making this a daily habit in your life. Again, it goes back to what I say all the time in almost all my podcasts. Discipline, consistency, and commitment. I mean, those are what equals success. So think about that and write it down. Write down names. Write down, who could I do this for every day? Whether it's for 5 days, 10 days, 30 days, and then it becomes this habit that you absolutely love doing. And if you can't call them all, a text is just as sweet, or an audio message. So that's one thing I recommend. Two, I recommend comment on your friends, your whoever's in the line of work like you. Comment on their social media posts. Comment and encourage them. Comment and give feedback into whatever it is they're talking about that day. And tell them how much you love what they're putting out there. Tell them you love their content. Anything, but comment and help your friends out. Help their businesses grow. Help whatever they're doing. Be that person that comes in and steps up and has the megaphone saying how amazing your friend is. And I have so many that do this for me, and you know who you are. I have so many, and it's such a beautiful feeling, and I love doing it for them too. So I would say, like, the third thing I've kind of thought about is get together with these friends, collaborate. I have someone that we hold each other accountable and collaborate once a month. And it's absolutely a joy in my life. And we send it to each other so we know what we're being held accountable for that month. This is someone in the same type field as me. But we are helping each other. We're sharing what we've learned. Like, hey, you really need to know about this particular, whatever, fitness equipment or podcast equipment, or I want to share this with you, or I really want to share this book with you. Things like that have been so amazing. and just share, like, in your life, what's working, what's not, like tips and tricks you've learned along the way. I have another friend that I met with this last week, and we went walking, and she's new to she's starting a health coach business and a nutrition coaching. And we got together and brainstormed and walked and talked and shared ideas and things she was struggling with figuring out on social media, and things that I had already figured out. And so just ways that you can help each other. It feels so great. And after that, of course, she was, she texted me and thank you, how amazing this was. You helped me so much today. And it brought me so much joy. I love pouring into women. I love mentoring women that maybe I'm a few or several steps ahead, whether it's in business, personal, marriage, relationships. I love doing it. And it's probably why I have so many friends that are younger than me, because it is truly a passion of mine. And so get together, make it a weekly, monthly, whatever works for you, but get together and help each other out. And then the last thing I would say on that is just recall constantly how awesome it feels when your friends, your coworkers, your whatever it is, that recall how awesome it feels when they encourage you, when they challenge you. It's important to challenge your friends and say, hey, I saw this post and maybe that wasn't such a good idea to put that out there. It didn't really reflect who you are. And when you have those kind of special friends that you can put that in front of them, I think it's a beautiful thing. And it all comes with delivery and how you bring it to them. But let's challenge each other to be better, to be kinder, to be more loving to other people. But when my friends do that, it's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard to hear things. But I want ones that are completely real and authentic, that encourage and challenge me and support and cheer me on, but keep recalling how that felt to you and go do it for others. Go do the same for someone else and someone else and someone else, because it does make a difference. It does. And you never know. I ask God every day, put an opportunity in my day to day where I can show the love of Christ, where I can encourage someone, where I can be a blessing to someone, for someone that may just need a smile today. Put that opportunity in front of me today. And I encourage you to pray that, because He will do amazing things in your life when you pray those kind of things, and He will bring the exact right person in your life that needed you that day. So, with that said, I think that's everything I wanted to share. There's probably more, but I can't remember any more right now. But that, I think I covered all the things that I just wanted you to hear. And I ask you to take that deep dive, to dig deep and see where you land on this. And even if it doesn't feel good, even if things look kind of yucky, work on it. Do the things I've suggested and ask God to reveal to you, is there anyone I'm viewing as a threat, as a competitor, that I need to go in and just love on well today? And He'll do it. You'll be amazed at what comes up for you. So, okay, that is all I have for you today. But I just appreciate each and every one of you. And I get comments throughout the week. I want to read some of the reviews. I need to do that too, because I've had people write the sweetest reviews. I have people that send me DMs that I don't know. And then I have friends that send me DMs or texts that encourage me. And again, it just goes back to that cheering each other on. Being someone's biggest cheerleader just fills your heart with so much joy. And I appreciate every one of you that do that for me. It truly means the world to me. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would love to ask you to please share this with family and friends. Share, rate, review. It only takes a couple minutes to write out a quick review. Anything you want to put. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. All these things help me. and also help me just know kind of what you need and want from me. And so I thank you for doing that too. Stay tuned for the next Your Age is Not Your Cage podcast. Every Wednesday, I've got some really special ones coming up. And also, if you stuck with me this long, my 1 year podcast anniversary is coming up. I can't believe it. And my 1 year kidney anniversary, where I donated my kidney. And you can listen to the podcast. I have those on here in the very beginning. That's when I started it. And we'll be doing some special episodes on that. But I've also got some really incredible guests coming up too. So I pray that you keep listening, and I thank you for listening. But for now, I am going to say goodbye and thank you for listening to Your Age is Not Your Cage with Carla Allen. Love y'all. Thank you.